King and queens, I hope everybody's doing good, doing great, taking care of your health. Stand to yourself. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the hype button. Pop your ish in the comment section. I will be checking, keep it respectful, no disrespecting. As y'all can see by the title, by the thumbnail, what we got going on. Remember, a slow grind is better than no grind. All right, let's get into this video.
Street dudes are not masculine men. They act just like females because they don't make rational decisions to be aggressive.
Shout out to General_Zay too. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. And that's actually accurate.
Their feelings make them aggressive, and that's how they end up in prison. They have absent fathers, so they're raised by a single mother. So they're pulling off that same energy that their mother gives, over-emotional. They carry very feminine, hyper-emotional traits like women do. Any little thing, they'll shoot the whole block up. No emotional control. And that's why outsiders call them monkeys. So today, we're going to go over how absent fathers are the reason why street dudes are misguided, using the 48 laws of power. Law 10, avoid the unhappy and unlucky.
Thanks a lot.
Y'all want the same thing he got.
Kind of bread.
But you don't understand English, man? I just said I want the same thing he got. Ain't the same sandwich. His was bigger.
The same sandwich.
Yes, this was bigger.
Get the out of the store.
What?
Get the out of the store!
Man, way more nowhere.
Young black men have violent communication skills, which means they don't communicate to understand. They communicate to be offensive or defensive, which ends up making them make dumb decisions that land them in prison. The reason why is because they were raised by one parent, which is their mother. Their mother would beat them when they get mad, then ask questions later. That's why street dudes shoot first, then ask questions later. Every decision you make is a portal to a new timeline.
There is a study that proves that people with a father only tends to be more successful than a mother only being present. So when men raise children, kids turn out to be more successful, more logical, have better critical thinking skills, are more rational. When mothers raise children without the father present, you tend to be emotional. You tend to not think clearly. You're acting off of you feeling a certain way versus what it actually is. And you guys can look that up. In every case, is that true? Is that correct? Not always. I think there are some fathers who are reckless with raising kids, even being present with the woman there, and vice versa. There's women who are phenomenal. There are women who do an amazing job being by themselves. So, and everything is, tit for tat. Everything can go both ways. So always remember that I'm not just saying one side. I'm not, I'm not here to stamp that and say all women are terrible and all men are great being fathers. I'm not saying that. So it's some phenomenal parents on both ends, and it's some crappy parents on both ends as well. So always remember that.
Final decision.
And also too, I want to say this before I start the video back. I think at some point we have to stop making excuses about what our parents didn't provide and what they didn't do for us, because we get to a point in life where we get to make our own decisions. We get, to develop a mindset of our own. And yes, our upbringing plays a tad bit, into who we are current day. But we can't continue to make excuses, because that's how we stay stagnant. That's how we tend to stay where we are. We don't grow by making excuses. If you want change, if you want better, you have to make it happen. And once you get an opportunity to get out on your own, I think that's the best decision that you should make. What your dad didn't do and him not being there, or what your mom didn't provide, or whatever the case may be, is no longer an excuse on why you continue to be a terrible person and you continue to be emotional, or you continue to just, be reckless with your behavior and your actions.
Made by you. You cause a ripple effect that lands you in prison every time you react off anger. Next time somebody disrespects you or try to get you upset, ask yourself, how deep could the consequences be if I act on my thoughts right now? I may get my point across, but will that make the Chinese man change how he feel about me? Everybody want to be reactive to every thought that comes. The bad thoughts that come in your head are not a representation of who you are. Your thoughts are just a part of your body. You wouldn't call yourself a bad person because you have a bad back, right? So just because you feel anger, don't mean you have to act on it. Only focus on the thoughts that's going to move you forward, and the ones that's not, don't listen to it.
Facts.
Law 31. limit their choices.
Is ready. Come here, baby. I got that bastard.
Jimmy's father was serving 10 years in prison, so Jimmy had to look for a father in the streets. He forced them to break into cars. If you don't father your children, your sons are gonna grow up needing masculine validation because they're looking for a father figure to validate them. If they don't get the validation from their father, they run into an older male who can manipulate that child's needs for a father figure, making them fall for the manipulative law of limiting their choices. Let's take a look at another example. Law 33, identify their weak spot. Naaman's father is in prison for the rest of his life. So now he's raised by his mother. Now his mother is trying to force him to follow his father's footsteps of being a street dude.
What you mean Kanad took the stash? And he's still walking around?
I'm gonna talk to him, Mom. Make sure this never happened again.
Look at me, boy. Kanad.
I'm gonna say this. All these are great shows and great movies, by the way. I think it's ultimately up to the adult. You know what I mean? When these kids are at this state mentally, right? And they're in these positions where they're not whole with who they are. They're not complete. You know what I mean? They still have a lot of growing to do. I think it's the adult's responsibility to guide them and to steer them in the right direction, despite that adult not being in a place of success or not being in a place of, you know, not having the best upbringing as well. I think you would want to have the greatest intentions for a younger person, especially with it being your child. You want the best for your kid. I know I wholeheartedly want my son to be way more successful, way more intelligent, better, health. I want him to be way more in shape than me. And honestly, at the age he's at, he surpassed me. My son is phenomenal. He's a mutant to me. You know what I mean? That's how I look at him. He's such a rare kid. All across the board, my son is phenomenal. I couldn't have asked for a better son, man. I can brag about him all day, but I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I think it takes for you to have an ultimate love for your kid and an ultimate love for yourself to know what's important. And what is important is making the best decisions for these children and putting life and pouring life into them and really being positive to them. You know what I mean? Reinforcing the positive things and making sure that no matter what negative that they go through, you want to guide them and coach them and, walk them through all those things and just let them know, hey, you're going to make mistakes. You're not perfect, so on and so forth. So you're basically setting them up to become an adult that knows how to deal with things, that have had, motivation inserted into them. They know what it's like when they're going through something. They're going to have that voice in the back of their mind. Like, this is what my dad told me when I was, in this position. He already planted the seed. He already put that in my ear for me to know how to handle this situation. And a lot of people who are damaged as parents and adults, they project their flaws and insecurities and hate and anger and frustration off onto their kid, which leads their kid to be just like them, or if not worse than them.
I got to feel some pain for what he did. He got to.
I'm trying.
You trying, huh? That's what you gonna tell your father the next time you see him? That you trying? Or you gonna tell him what you've done?
What he done got him locked up.
She thinks that if he doesn't become a street dude, then he's not a man. And since men orient their behavior around women, they flash money, do band for bands, shootouts, anything they think women are drawn to, because women mistake all this for masculinity when it's actually toxicity. And this creates more dysfunction, which feeds the divide and conquer system. Let's take a look at another example. Law 31.
You're a sorry excuse. I don't know why I haven't messaged you.
I just want to see my daughter. Can I take her for a couple of hours?
You think you should just pop up here every day with no money for me, asking to see my baby. What you are is broke, and I'm not going to teach my daughter to be hanging with no broke. It stops here. So you can provide for her, you're not allowed to see her anymore.
A lot of fathers are absent in their child's life because women nowadays think a man's masculinity is tied to his money. So they withhold their kids out of spite for the father. This forces men into that street life because the only way he could see his kid is through materialism.
And this is what's, extremely interesting to me, because you laid down with this guy. Unless you were dealing with a rich guy who just lost it all, okay, maybe I can kind of reason with you a little bit. But even then, I think you still should have some sense of empathy or sympathy for that person, right? You should have sympathy. But you lay down with this person and you knew that they wasn't in the best when it came to their financial situation. And now that a kid is involved, you carried out the pregnancy. Now you want to fault them for not having the money that you knew that they didn't have prior to you all having a kid with each other. And this is what you can't do, whether you're rich or broke. I don't think you should hold a parent from seeing the kid. I don't care, what it is, the mom or the dad, no matter what. If they're not rich or they're not successful, okay, cool. But what does that time being spent with that kid have to do with that? That has nothing to do with anything. If they're not harming a kid and they just want to be there, that child is going to remember the moments that parent was there. They're not going to too much care about little toys and stuff like that. I mean, I can't remember little toys, but I can't remember who bought them. But I can't remember moments where somebody taught me how to ride a bike. I can't remember moments where somebody showed me how to shoot a basketball, or real life situations, or where somebody taught me how to cut the grass, or somebody actually showed me how to do these things. So I'm just giving y'all examples, right? So we remember moments more than we remember money. And I get some people gonna be like, well, to create certain memories, you have to have money. I get that. But if that person doesn't have money and they have time, that time is ultimately, that time to me is going to be way more significant than money.
And this is all part of the sleep spell. The people who run the world convince women to hate their men. They said, I'll give you free food, EBT. I'll give you a free house, Section 8. I'll give you free checks every month, WIC. As long as the dark-skinned man can't be your man. Let the system be your man. I'll provide for you. He's not doing his job. And the reason why they targeted women is because the woman can easily be manipulated. Because the devil talks to her more because she overthinks so much. That's why the devil placates to her emotions. Let's take another look at Law 31.
Now, when we get in this dog, I need you to play like you crazy so they can keep these checks coming in.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you take that Adderall like I told you to?
Nah, it be making me feel weird.
But you need to take it just in case they want to since you it'll be in your system. We gotta keep these checks coming in. That's how I keep my bills paid. Take this.
Hey, Ma,
What do you want?
I'm hungry. Try to see you have some food or something.
I ain't got nothing for you until you get yourself out the.
Hello? Oh, brother, you got $1 or something?
No. You can go get a job, though.
You see, mothers will mess their kid up and won't take accountability for it because they don't think they're the problem. That's why you gotta father your children. If you don't father your children, your baby moms is gonna use your kid as a check, because the people who run the world convince women that surviving off materialism is all that matters. They don't realize that this ideology was facilitated by the deep state shadow Satanists who run the system, because they all got them under a spell. And that's why most women rely on tricks, men who spend money on them, or the system. The media makes people feel like they're not good enough if they don't have materialistic items. But who runs the media? The system. So when fathers go absent, women try their best to figure things out, but they make dumb decisions that mess everything up, because women are not biologically wired to lead. That's why you gotta father your children and lead yourself. Here's another example of Law 31.
And this is what you do? You plant this bullshit in my garden?
You trying to say I planted that shit?
Who else?
I ain't planted that shit. You need to check your boyfriend Melvin. I told you that nigga file. You did it, huh?
Melvin.
Yeah. Kick his ass out, Mom.
It won't happen again.
Amazing how she was so quick to forgive this guy somebody that, you know, she had recently just met. This is Baby Boy, by the way. Great movie. Y'all should go watch it. Every clip that he's showing from a show or a movie is really good, except for the last one. I don't know what that was, but maybe, I mean, shoot, life lessons in movies to me, I think are great. I don't care about the production of it. You know what I mean? Tubi got a lot of crazy looking movies, but message in them are pretty good. But she was so quick to forgive her new boyfriend and was ready to go so hard on her son. And what the disconnect is, to me, I feel, is because she's been through more with her son. And that's crazy to say, right? Most people will be like, well, I mean, that's her son. Yes, but she feels like her son is a liability more than her boyfriend is, which is crazy, right? Because your son is always going to have your back. Your son is going to be there more. When this relationship goes left, guess who's going to be there? When you are older and you need somebody to call on for something because you may not have it, you're going to call your son to help you provide. You know what I mean? The roles are kind of going to be reversed in a sense. And I don't get that, but you have parents, you have women who will do this. They haven't had a boyfriend in years. They yearn for a man's attention. They yearn for a man's, you know, affection and so on and so forth. And that kid that's been messing up or that's been getting on her nerve and irritating her, she's just, you know, kind of disconnected from, so to speak. You know, I mean, it happens like that. It happens like that a lot, more than you guys will know.
Oh, so it's cool now?
I need you to shut up.
Huh, the truth hurt, don't it? How you think I feel? You up in there laid up with this thug you don't even know who want to kick me out the house so we could be around here doing whatever.
If I want to bring a man all up and through here, I bring a man all up and through here. That's my say, not yours.
Crazy. I'm gonna end this video right here. I think this was a really great, phenomenal video, man. If y'all want to watch the rest, go watch it. General_Zay on YouTube, man. Great video, bro. Shout out to him. Before you subscribe to him, subscribe to me. And yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below, man. All right. Love, peace, and prosperity. Hello or goodbye. Talk to me. Do not let me be elevating till we hit our head. We ain't bleeding yet. Spread love, not hate. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Be great.